And I will call this meeting to order for the Polk County Board of Commissioners for Tuesday, September 17th, 2024. All commissioners are present. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, first item up is for comments for items not on this agenda. Please come forward. Name and address for the record, please. It'll pick you up.
Okay, great. Hi, thanks for the opportunity to speak. My name is Jenny Bond. My address is 403 Northeast Holiday Avenue, Dallas, Oregon, 97338. And I'll try to be just brief. I am a frequent volunteer with animal rescue organizations, both at the national and local level, and I help to take care of dogs from all sorts of law enforcement situations, such as dog fighting. And I want to speak about the need for Polk County to establish its own dog shelter. And I'm sure everybody's aware that Oregon Humane Society discontinued its contract to provide services to house stray dogs, which is very disappointing, to say the least. But I know you all have a lot of other issues to deal with, but the dog shelter issue is a concern that I know I share with a lot of other county residents. My understanding is that currently the only option available for housing stray dogs in Polk County is a building on a firing range, which doesn't sound like a great situation and is not conducive to keeping the dogs both mentally and physically healthy and fit for adoption if they're not claimed by their owners. And I have learned from conversation with the staff at the sheriff's office that the county may now have funding to build a shelter, which is great news. And I really want to commend the board for taking that step and making this a priority issue. I know there is still a lot that needs to happen before a shelter becomes a reality. And in the meantime, I hope that some kind of alternative shelter situation can be found. I would like to ask the board to keep the momentum going on this. The last thing I want to add is there is potential out there for using citizen volunteers like myself to help with daily care of dogs if and when you actually have dogs who have been taken in and until they're claimed or if they're not claimed, et cetera. And I know currently that's not an option, and it might be because of the location on the firing range. There might be other reasons as well that you can't use volunteers. But I'll just throw it out there. Volunteers can be trained to handle feeding, cleaning, daily care of dogs who are unknown temperament and to do it safely. And just offer that if that becomes the situation where volunteers can help out, that would mean less time needed by the sheriff's deputies to go and care for such animals. So in summary, I'd like to thank you for addressing this really important community issue amongst all the other things you have going on. And I thank you for your time this morning.
No, I will tell you, normally we wouldn't have a dialogue here, but I will tell you your request is timely. We are working on a strategy for shelter. We are moving forward in it at the pace of government, sadly, but we are trying to get there. I think it's awesome that you've stepped forward this morning and put your name on a list, Nicole, note, for volunteering, because it will take some help as we move forward. The sheriff's office isn't going to have enough capacity to give it all the care at that facility once we get it up that it needs, and we will need some citizen volunteers to help with that. So rest assured, your name will be on the list and we will be calling on you as we move forward. But we are working on a strategy. We are trying to plan the funding and, where it's going to be and how it's going to get built. But we're working towards it right now because we realize that it's near crisis situation.
I really appreciate your efforts.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in. Any other comments? Okay, moving on. Looking for approval of the agenda.
Also move. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passed unanimously. Approval of minutes of September 10th.
I move approval. I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passed unanimously. Behavioral health / crisis building update. Mr. Hawkins.
Morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. I just wanted to give an update on our building progress thus far and maybe dispel a couple of myths out there. So first of all, this is a crisis building for behavioral health. It is the building that the state is needing us to create so that we have eventually a 24/7 crisis center for individuals to go to. We are not going to be increasing the number of people that will be in that area. They're already using, crisis is already happening, I should say, in the academy building, but that building is not set up for us to be able to run a full crisis center in it. So thus the reason for the building. At this point in time, I have really good news, which is we're on schedule. Everything's moving as planned, and I'm going to knock on this really nice wood we have here in hopes that it stays that way, but that'll depend on weather, obviously. So far at this point, we've poured the footings for the building, and today stem walls should be poured so that we are on schedule. Later, we have an elevator in the building. They'll be pouring some of that. That takes a lot, actually, the pit for the elevator. So we are on schedule. We're doing well. Wanted to give you an update as well on the we had a conversation a couple weeks ago about the SDC fees. Wanted to report that those have been reduced by the city because of the timing that we actually applied for our permitting, which was prior to July 1st. In fact, it was May 21st that we applied for our permits. Thus, we should have been charged the prior to July 1st increases that the city has gone ahead and approved. So that's where we're at. Happy to answer any questions. It's been really good so far. I hope it stays that way.
Great. Just so the crisis services currently, the phone number we post online, that service is still active. A lot of that's done out in the field, some at the academy building, and that in the field work will still continue, obviously, if once the building is complete.
Great point. Yeah, the building will be there, but there'll still be the in the field work available as people need it.
Right. Great work on the SDC issue. Glad you asked the question. Sometimes it just requires asking.
Mr. Hanson.
Thanks, Greg.
Mr. Hanson was able to have a conversation on that.
How many staff are we planning to house?
That is a very good question that I don't know the exact answer to as far as how many will be in there. Right now, our because I'm working on the HR side of my job on some stuff with the crisis team, and there's 8 right now, and I know they need to basically double that or more. The chances of that, it's still remains to be seen if they're going to be able to get that many individuals hired to run a full 24/7 coverage. But that is the goal, and that's what we're shooting for.
Are we still thinking that the crisis team capacity is for 3 at a time inside that building? That was the original, as I recall.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, we will have at the least 3 at a time. What we're working on right now is actually being able to try to figure out how to, if 2 leave, to get somebody else there so that one person is never there alone. And that's just working through, again, some HR stuff, and we're working on an MOU right now to figure out maybe we set up an on-call rotation so that if that happens, we have somebody we can call to come in and help.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Questions? Okay.
10,000 square feet.
So once the staffing and programmatic stuff gets kind of solidified, it'd be nice to have Noelle in here just to let us know. about
Sure.
that.
And she'll probably bring Jennifer Leaf and Doug Aiken along with her. Doug Aiken will be the supervisor of the crisis team.
And he'll slowly be working the graveyard shift, right?
I do not know
I'd
what
like to make a motion. Just
his schedule will be.
Okay. Thank you. Do we have non-listed items?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. I guess we are adjourned.